I'm Don DeBoer with Mid-Valley Ag Service in Livingston, California. And this is a young almond orchard here, which is about 3 years old, which we had some problems on it after the first year with some crazy top showing up in it. So basically we thought we'd do a trial here with Surround to see if we could prevent or slow down the crazy top movement in the trees. Basically, we noticed the crazy top right after bloom. Shortly thereafter, we applied the Surround, and by midsummer, it's virtually impossible to find the crazy top anymore, or the trees that had it. And I think probably what we're doing, we're keeping the tree temperature down enough on this tree so that it enables us to get a good full canopy and keep the tree from shutting down. Normally a Carmel tree at about 95 degrees it tends to shut down, so it's not uncommon to have temperatures over 100 here. So we thought by putting the Surround on, maybe we could always keep that tree temperature below the 95 degrees, keep the tree continually in that growth process, and in turn get a bigger leaf area and in turn good buds for next year's crop. And our bud set this year looks extremely good, as well as it did last year. We're pleased with the results we've been getting. I think that we'll continue that on this orchard, especially on the Carmel varieties, where we tend to have more of the crazy top showing up here. It can show up on some of the nonpareils from time to time too, but this is just sort of what we call preventative medicine, I guess, on the crop here to assure that we're always going to get a good crop. This is basically about an 18-acre block right here, and we've been treating 5 acres out of this for the last 2 years. We always leave a check. This last year we tried another competing material, and we were satisfied that I think the Surround, I was pleased with what the Surround did up against that material, so we'll probably continue using the Surround here. So we made 2 applications on this orchard. The first one was probably made, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks after jacket split. The following application was made, I would say, probably about the 1st or 2nd week in June, somewhere in there.
How far after the first one was the second one?
I would say there's probably a 2-month period in there. We probably had about 18 to 2 foot of growth. On a young orchard, I'd say 2 applications, maybe 3 if it's a fast-growing orchard, because now growers, they want, like these trees here are 3 years old. This orchard's been pushed fairly good. And if that tree is growing fast, if you've got 2 or 3 foot of new growth that hasn't been treated yet, and it's going to be 105 degrees or something, I think I'd probably come back in then and retreat. It's just a matter of common sense approach to things. You sort of, whatever situation you're in, everyone seems to be a little bit different, and you sort of make the call at the time. We went 30 pounds per 100 gallons of water here in 2 applications, so we've got about 60 pounds of material on the trees. The whole key to crazy top, I think, or trying to control it or prevent it or slow it down or whatever you're trying to do with it, is trying to keep that tree out of stress. Whether that be with water management, fertilizer management, anything that put a stress on that tree is probably going to trigger bud failure. So we try to watch the fertility fairly close. Like I said, watch our water management close, and then we use the surround as temperature tool, I guess you might say, to make sure we always keep that temperature below 95 degrees if we can. I think in certain cases, people will disagree with me on this, but I know in my own orchards where I have organic walnuts that it's been a good tool for suppression of certain insects. I think you'll see the same suppression on certain insects on almonds, and that doesn't mean you're not going to have to treat for that insect, but you may be able to use that as a tool for certain insects. That is something that again, it's sort of a every year is different on this, and but I've seen suppression of certain insects in here. This year we had problems with aphid in a lot of orchards. We didn't see in this check here, we didn't see any aphid in here. And I think there's certain insects that I don't think they like laying their eggs necessarily on leaves where you have the surround. And I think, you know, it just involves more monitoring and stuff like that, because the insect inside of it wasn't something we're looking at when we got into this, and we're just sort of trying to see if there's some added benefits to the product on suppression of, you know, certain insects. I'm convinced that it's a good tool. I don't need any more convincing on it. That in certain areas where I see a need for this, I'll use it. With the surround here, with the support we get from the company and things like that, and that's an important part of it also. It's not just putting products on, but we get good pack-up support and things like that. And this is, I mean, this is as important as if you got two products that work the same. The one where you get the best backup support is usually the one you tend to go with. So, like I said, you know, when you get support and help and things like that, that's what it's all about. It's not about here's a cheap product or something like this. I feel much more comfortable working with somebody that I'm going to see from time to time and is maybe going to show me something I missed, or I can show him something that he missed, and you just have a good working relationship that way. So.